1970, we sure we did the forefront. Knowledge for selfish, for sure we did the work. Auditorium to basement of all faculty of law. We did represent, stand tall anywhere we go. Work hard and we shine, commitment, dedication. Neurosurgery, comedy, music, Nollywood. SOTK, Dr. Call, MC Casino. We did represent, stand tall anywhere we go. Great Uniben, great Uniben, great Uniben, great Uniben. Welcome to another episode of the Uniben Alumni Series. As you know, this is a show where we celebrate alumni of the University of Benin, while we promote the institution, the greatest University of Benin. And on this episode, we have quite a recent young alumna with us. She's Eseosa Uyi-Uwadiae. She's the first graduate of the Department of Industrial Engineering to graduate with a first-class degree. She achieved that feat in 2023, if I'm correct, Eseosa. Thank you, Eseosa, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I will go straight into it, Eseosa. Industrial engineering is quite a young department in the university. I think it was established quite recently, not up to 10 years ago, if I'm correct. Yes. What made you to opt for that department? What made you to? Did you intentionally pick industrial engineering while filling your JAM form or your post-UME, or it was something else you wanted to study and you found yourself in industrial engineering?
Yes. When I was applying for JAM, I put in for computer engineering. At the time,
Okay.
I had no idea that industrial engineering was already a department in the faculty. And when I saw I checked my admission status and I found out, oh, I've been admitted and I had industrial engineering. I asked people that I knew because I have like older siblings, and I asked them, there's something like industrial engineering. I was like, maybe they made a mistake or
Yeah.
something. But everything was still good. I was called for clearance and everything. But when we now finally started school, now found out, oh, it's a new department and we are the first set
Oh,
of the
okay.
department.
Okay.
So that is why it was not really known, and almost everybody, in fact everybody in the department, did not apply for industrial engineering. I think just one person said she knew beforehand and she
Okay.
applied directly. But the rest of us, some people applied for different other courses, but we all found ourselves there and we had decided to make it work.
Yeah, I like that. You decided to make it work. Talking about making it work, did you from the beginning work towards a first class? Was that your intention right from 100 level? Said, I want to make a first class, despite not having more like a template, no older set, no seniors to look up to. Did you set out to make a first class?
Personally, I don't think anybody that gains admission will say, oh, that they don't want to graduate with first class. It's almost the goal of every Nigerian student.
Yeah.
At least before your parents will even tell you somebody has, you don't have 2 years, they have stuff like that. So it's easy for you to say, yes, I want to graduate with first class. But by the time classes started, and by the time you come to class and the class is filled up and you are very early, and in 100 level, I was coming from home, so it was kind of difficult for me. Sometimes I'll come to class and the class is filled to the brim, and you have to sit at the back, and sometimes you don't even hear the lectures. I'm like, it be like say this go, it's a little bit far. But in 200 level, I was like, anyhow it be, I will just graduate. But We thank God.
Okay. That means 200 level. You were not too keen. Again, was there lost hope that you might not make the first class?
Yes, because beforehand, when we're in 100 level, like our senior colleagues to tell us that, oh, that you are JJCs and your name is in pencil, you're not yet a full blown engineering student. And when we even manage to get to 200 level, they'll tell us you are still JJCs because you just got into engineering.
Uh,
And they'll start telling you about the courses and how it's so difficult to pass, and unconsciously it's sometimes it affects some students because you don't now put the effort, because
mm,
if your senior colleagues are telling you no matter what you do you will still not pass, it's not look as if it's a wasted effort. So at that point I was like, it's not going to be easy, oh, but I will still try my best. But I think after first semester's results, I started rethinking. I
it's
say,
possible.
like second class is not that bad though. Ehen. But ah, but it turned out differently at
Was
the
it was it
end. I
not
think
too
after
okay? Sorry, was it not too early to start determining your the class you graduated as a 200 level for a 4 year course?
is not too early, oh, because at the end of the day, it's the moment you see your first semester result. Some people already lost hope of certainty. I certainly lost hope for my results because I think that was the first semester I had a C. So I was like, a C. From what your like senior colleagues have already told us, if you want to graduate with a first class, you already have to have certain grades, you have to have more A's than
Yeah.
B's, that by the time you start getting C's, it makes it a lot harder for you to do. And so the time I saw my first C, it was very hard to start thinking, oh, and it was a 3 credit load course. So at that point, it was not looking like it anymore.
Mm,
But I think in 300
yeah.
level, when we got a new course advisor, they called about I think about 7 or 11 students to the office, and we're like, oh, that our results are really good, but it's not first class level.
Yeah.
But from now, if we put more effort
Mm,
than we are putting before, that we are most likely to graduate with a first class. So I think that was what like now like really gave me the encouragement that, oh, all hope
it's
is
not
not lost.
lost. Okay.
I started putting much more effort than I was putting before.
Yeah. Kudos to that lecturer. Let's talk about your routine, your school routine. You were class rep too. So how was your normal routine like? Like some other scholars that we used to have then in school. It is fellowship. If they are Christians, it is fellowship, hostel, classroom. How was yours like?
Um, it was basically almost the same thing for me, but I was more of a class person than a fellowship person.
Okay.
Personally, I feel your what you want in school, God already is backing you. So if you are going to get certain things, you should know where to put your priority in. And in school, I put my priority on my books. That was my main priority in the school. I put my priority on my books. I still attended church and other weekly services that I could that would not affect my classes. I was not very active in except I was in a department in church. I wasn't for I was just going for normal services, or if they have weekly
Yeah.
service, that was what I was just going for while in school.
Okay. I want to ask about your position as a class rep. Do you think that position helped you, gave you an edge, or at times it was a distraction for you to achieve your academic excellence?
Being class rep has its own advantages and its own disadvantages. One of the advantages that the lecturers always make sure that even if some students are in class, that yes, the class rep can always be there to intercede for other persons. But one of the distractions was that if some of my classmates did some certain things unconsciously, even when I feel like I don't want to go and intercede on behalf of anybody, you have offended, carry your cross by yourself. But I
But
will
as a
still
leader,
try to go out of my way
yeah,
to still intercede. Sometimes I even do stuff and they don't even know that, oh, that I have gone to beg the lecturer that says, sir, please, she didn't mean it, he didn't mean it, he was
yeah,
just angry that this is what is happening with that person at home. So probably that's what's affecting the person in class. But one of the advantages was it made me stand out in a way that, oh, when they were teaching, at first I didn't like teaching. If anybody even asked that, explain this thing to me, I would just do it in on a sheet of paper. But before you know it, I had one person to teach, then two persons, then three. Then sheet of paper was no longer enough, and I had to use the board
mm,
to teach the class. And I feel if I wasn't the class rep, people would have not even come to me in the first place to say, oh,
mm,
come and explain. Because if you are the class rep, it enables you to stay longer in class than most people.
mm,
When classes end by 2, I get to my hostel sometimes by 5 or 6, because I have certain things that I still have to do and I will still be in class. So
yeah,
by the time you are still in class and you are reading, somebody will like, oh, this thing that this lecturer thought, do you understand it? And I'm like, okay, yes, I do. But I don't really know it that well. But this is the part I understand. This is the part
yes,
I, oh, you know this part. So please explain to me. And like that, we just started growing, and
yeah,
that
and
was
you
one of the main
that
advantages.
that yeah that part it means that that part also helps you to equip yourself more when you want to
Yeah.
teach the okay, that's good to hear. Let's talk about what you learned from Uniben outside your certification, obviously. What are those attributes you took from the institution?
Low key, I've always been of the idea that, oh, if you are smart, obviously you don't need anybody else to be there to do anything. But in school, I found out that no matter how smart you are, everything the lecturer teaches from A to Z, there's a possibility you will not understand B. And there's this person in class that you think, oh, does not know anything, and is that only that B that the person will understand. So it
Oh,
made me much more humble, because at the end of the day you have to now meet people to
yeah,
ask them for certain things that on a normal day you will think, oh, you don't need to ask anybody for. And it builds teamwork, because there are some things that we do in class,
yeah.
if you were doing it alone it definitely would not have worked. But we built teams in different ways to support ourselves in class and carry everybody along. I
Mm,
think that team building and being in teams was one of the major things that I really learned in school, apart from education.
okay. You went to Azura Edo Independent Power Plant for your IT. You were posted there for your IT. Just give us how was the experience like for you?
It was very good, because sometimes we don't even know certain things that in our states, and I didn't even know about it until it was time for internship. So I found out that, oh, we have a power plant in the States. And as at that time, I really did not know much about generation of electricity. We just watch news and we know that, yes, the Gencos they do this, the Discos they do that.
Yeah,
But when I finally got there, I saw the process in which electricity was actually generated, from when how you get the gas to how it gets to the combustion chamber, and there's air that goes in, there's all the every single thing was broken down much more than the way we see it in textbooks, that it looks
yeah.
so much harder. But when you have people in the field that actually do know these things, and the people there, they were very nice and very accommodating, so it was easy to talk to them, and they easily broke down anything that we needed to know for us to our level.
Okay. We are gradually winding up. What's the plan going forward? Most times, for those scholars like yourself, when they graduate from the institution try to retain them as lecturers for teaching. Is that something you would like to go into research and teaching, or is there a broader plan right now? for you?
For now, I will not say there is much of a greater plan, but teaching is not something I wanted to do and at any time, even like right from when I was a child, like say,
Mm,
oh, I want to teach or anything like that. But like standing in front and teaching some of my classmates,
yeah.
and somehow they understood what I was saying,
Okay.
and I tried my best to make sure that yes, we all understood, because if somebody does not understand, you try your possible best to make sure they do. It was fun. I didn't expect that I was going to like to teach, but as of this point, say I will still want to do that, to still teach, but not something I want to dive into immediately.
All right.
So
Right.
maybe have some field experience first, so
Mm,
that when you are teaching the younger generations, you are not just teaching from
mm.
textbook knowledge
Sorry.
or research knowledge. You have experience because you have worked there, you have worked with people in the field, and you can easily now tell them that yes, when you were in the field, this is how it is actually done. And even sometimes some of the things in books are already outdated, and
Mm,
then you have first-hand experience about the new technologies that are being used, and you cannot teach them that instead of relying on old information that the world has
Most
long forgotten
don't.
about.
Yeah. Lastly, Sosa, for the current students in the institution, more especially in your department, what advice would you have for those that want to attain academic excellence?
Um, One thing I know I will tell them is you cannot do it by yourself. You cannot do it alone. Sometimes you think you can, but honestly, you cannot. I've seen other like first class graduates, some of my friends from other departments, and I know they did not do it alone because they always keep good company with them academically. They keep good company with them. So always try to sort out the good companies academically, and definitely you attain it, because what you don't know, somebody else will definitely know it. And when you have good teams that you work with in class and outside class, unconsciously you don't know, but you're actually building yourself towards that goal.
Okay, thank you so much, Susan, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I've been speaking with Eseosa Uyi-Uwadiae. She's a first class graduate of the Industrial Engineering Department of the University of Benin. She's the very first graduate of the department, graduate with the first class degree. Continue to subscribe to our channel, bringing more exclusive interviews of Uniben alumni. Bye.
1970, we sure we did the forefront. Knowledge for selfish, for sure we did the work. Auditorium to basement of all faculty of law.